Well, joining me now, Dana Jacobson, talk host for CBS Sports Radio. And Dana, with a welcome to you. So in the Peter Alexander report right there, we heard about the support from Rice's high school coach and the New Rochelle community there. Why are people looking at Ray Rice as a victim more in some cases than Janae Rice as being the victim? I mean, is that the nature of being a sports star, or is it specific to Ray Rice?
I think that's some of it, and I don't know that it's more. I think people don't know how to embrace a victim of domestic violence, especially one that says, stay out of my life. You've destroyed my life, and isn't fighting back against her abuser. And then, yes, in the case of Ray Rice, this is somebody that until this incident had been a role model in the league and had done so much for the league and his team, and everybody looked to him in that New Rochelle community at Rutgers. This is a star. This is someone we can be proud of. So then this behavior that seemed so not Ray Rice, and I think people don't know how to respond without saying, well, we remember this other guy. We can't just put this one moment ahead of all of that.
How about your listeners? What are they saying?
It's a mix. And I have to tell you, I know we heard a lot of this after the Thursday night game where there were women out there saying, in their Ray Rice jerseys, I support him and this isn't fair. And I started looking back because we got some of those calls. This isn't fair. Stay out of it. It's their personal business. This is domestic violence, and that's what it hides behind. It's not their personal business. And I looked back to Warren Moon. It's been almost 20 years since he was acquitted. There was a trial. He was acquitted of abuse against his now ex-wife. She didn't want to testify against him. And there was so much at that time said afterwards by jurors saying this just is what happens between married couples. Bruises, cuts, choking someone. How far have we come? It's been almost 20 years. And we're hearing some of that saying, well, this is just what happens. We saw her get knocked, punched out, knocked to the floor. That's not what happens between married couples.
Yeah, no, I always question why domestic violence even has to use the word domestic. I mean, it's just violence. But yesterday, I spoke with former Baltimore Raven Trevor Price. He seemed adamant that Commissioner Goodell could not have seen that second tape before this past week. He says he's a very sensible guy. First of all, do you agree with that? And even if Goodell didn't see it, do you think his job's going to be in jeopardy for the overall handling of this?
Well, I want to believe, how could you see that second tape and then come down with a 2-game suspension? But I said at the time, how could you see the exterior of the elevator tape and come down with a 2-game suspension? I don't know what happened at the NFL, and I hope that the investigation is going to lead to maybe some answers, because it seems very murky and unclear. If a tape got there, how was it that the commissioner never saw it? As for his job security, we have to remember there is a huge difference between what we're saying in the public and public opinion, which can put pressure on a team like the Carolina Panthers now deactivating Greg Hardy. But when it comes to Roger Goodell, he has made billions for the league, and it comes down to the 32 NFL owners. 24 would have to vote him out, and I think he has a lot of collateral with them, and a lot of things have gone right under his watch. And it might not even be the best move to take a man who at least right now is owning up to making some type of mistake. You're not going to get rid of this problem of domestic violence by saying get rid of the commissioner. This goes to the owners in the league and what they want. Maybe with Goodell there, maybe a punishment, a suspension, give some of that $35 million bonus money to domestic violence and to education. Maybe then they can make some inroads in the NFL instead of just saying, well, we got rid of the guy in charge, so the problem is gone. That's not the problem. They have systemic issues, but it's only a part.
Yeah, that's very much a big picture perspective there. Let's fold in right here the Adrian Peterson case, because there's two different situations, obviously. But Ray Rice has already been through the judicial system. He's in a pretrial intervention program. Peterson could face far worse because his case is just starting. Do you think this changes how the NFL might handle their cases going forward?
Well, they've already, in the Ben Roethlisberger case, it didn't need the judicial process system to play out. So there's already precedent there that we don't have to have resolution from a court in order for punishment to be handed down. I think what will be interesting to watch for the Vikings is they don't really have precedent here. If they're just learning, if information is coming out, and this likely wouldn't go to a trial until next year, do they keep deactivating him? And then in that case, does the NFL Players Association get involved? He's getting a paycheck, but does he have a right to play? I honestly don't know that answer. I know the Vikings were aware of what was going on when this happened back in May, and they've been following it. This was the first time, though, that they heard the word criminal attached to it, obviously in the complaint, and then with Peterson going down to turn himself in yesterday. So they did the right thing by deactivating him, but going forward at some point, I don't know what that right answer is for them or for their fans. I guess you could say, if you have this hanging over you, do you want him representing you out on the field?
Yeah, okay. Dana Jacobson, now from CBS Sports Radio, though, as I told you in the commercial break, I loved you on ESPN's Cold Pizza. Bring that back. Come on back. I'm a fan. Appreciate
We'll bring it back at some point.
Okay, sounds good.